SB57 is based substantially on New York's e-stop law. It will require all registered sex offenders to disclose their online social network addresses as part of their annual registration requirement. Illinois has also adopted a similar law. The bill is a narrower version of last year's SB 1204, which passed out of this committee last year. SB 57 is a bipartisan bill. Senator Alquist is asked to be a principal co-author when it's next amended. Currently, it's co-authored by Senators Anderson, Calderon, Harman, and Liu, as well as Assembly Members Knight and Smythe. This is a common sense bill that's strongly supported by law enforcement and crime victim groups. If other state legislators are taking measures to protect our children from online predators, it's time that California steps up. The bill does not create any new felonies, and I'd ask for an aye vote.
Thank you, Senator, very much. Witnesses, please. We usually have 2 witnesses, 2 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mark Klass from the Klass Kids Foundation. The more data we collect, the better we are to protect our children. As a result of that, children are much safer on the street than they used to be. That's why putting the family computer in the living room to monitor your children's online activity has always made sense. However, in today's extremely wired world, this logic no longer applies. Children can access the internet on their smartphones, on their laptop computers, at their friends, at their schools, at the library, et cetera, et cetera. Therefore, we as society have to take steps to ensure that when children do go online, that they are protected from predators. Case in point. Last year, John Albert Gardner, a recidivist sex offender, confessed to the rape and murder of both Chelsea King and Amber Dubois. Gardner had a MySpace page with graphic descriptions of sex acts. The last time he accessed this website was the day before Chelsea's murder. While these types of websites are a great way for people to connect, social networking websites, they can also create a virtual shopping mall for sex offenders on the prowl, and we see more and more evidence of this all the time. SB 57 does not deny anyone access to social networking websites. However, it does give sex offenders reason to think before engaging in predatory practices on the internet. Lastly, the bill does not create any new felonies. I ask for your aye vote on this bill. Thank you.
Next speaker, please.
Chris Kelly, private citizen. I'm honored to be here with Senator Runner and Mark Klaus to support SB 57, an update to Megan's Law for the digital age. The e-stop concept embodied in SB 57 came out of discussions I began on behalf of my former company, Facebook, where I oversaw privacy, security, and safety from 2005 to 2009 with various attorneys general around the country, starting in 2006. Many attorneys general proposed that we at Facebook should use sex offender registries to, at a minimum, identify risky users. As part of the ongoing discussions with the multi-state group of attorneys general focused on internet safety, I proposed a system where electronic identifiers would be added to registration requirements. Attorney General Cuomo of New York took up this idea and introduced the first e-stop bill in 2008 with the active support of Facebook and MySpace. Governor Cuomo described this bill perfectly. It was taking Megan's Law into the 21st century. More than 10,000 convicted sex offenders have been removed from social networks under the e-stop bill in New York. The concept is simple and straightforward, and SB 57 is even simpler and more straightforward than AB 755, a bill that this committee considered earlier. If we require the registration of physical addresses for convicted sex offenders, there is no good reason not to require the registration of electronic addresses as well. The U.S. Congress has seen the wisdom of this approach and passed the KIDS Act, which requires this data to be collected and made available on the National Sex Offender Registry. But many states, including California, have not yet implemented these requirements. After clearing the Senate on an overwhelming 32-2 vote, SB 57 presents this committee with an opportunity to move California's sex offender registration system forward. It's a common sense updating of Megan's Law, is working in New York, is required under federal law, and is the right thing to do in building a safer internet. I strongly urge an aye vote on the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Kelly.